Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 4 of how to make animation that even AI cannot do with Python and Blender. This lesson we're going to give the tank a more realistic look, because right now it doesn't really look realistic. So, first we scroll down until right after they created the tank and collapse simulation. So after the code which creates the tank, we give it the more realistic feel. So tank material is bpy.data.materials.new, name metallic surface. So we're just saying, let's give this a new material, tank material dot use nodes is true, and then you type nodes material tank material dot node tree nodes. I'll explain what nodes are in a second. Principled BSDF is nodes dot get principled BSDF, and okay, so we have a tank material. We just say it'll get a new tank material, and we use nodes. A node is basically, we just control the surface, the looks, and the type of node we're getting is principled BSDF. BSDF is, it stands for bidirectional it's just bidirectional bidirectional scattering distribution function. And what this does is it just controls the kind of the BSDF node just controls how light interacts with the surface. And if you open this site, the principled BSDF on Blender 4.3 manual over here, just search up Blender principled BSDF and then press the new link, and you can see there are lots of inputs over here. So we type principled BSDF dot inputs base color. So this just changes the color. Base color, the overall color of the materials. So yeah, it's just the color. So our base color is going to be, we just type default value, and we use the RGB input 0.8, 0.8, 0.81 to get the value, and this is light gray. Next, for principled BSDF, we have metallic. You're gonna set that to 1. What metallic is it's just metallic just gives it this look. 1.0 is pretty metallic, which is like this, and then 0 is not 0.0 is not that metallic. So we are using 1 for the metallic value. Principled BSDF dot inputs roughness default value is 0.2, and roughness is just gives it the roughness for spec hues, reflection, and transmission. So 0.2 is kind of like in between these two pictures, which is what we want, because you can see it's quite not as, because it's kind of like this in between these two. This picture's the lighting and design is kind of like in between these two, which makes sense for 0.2. And then that's it. Tank.data.materials.append. Tank material. Okay. Now we go up to the function for fluid simulation, and we go down to, after it's set the domain material. So we actually, this is the code we wrote before that sets the material for this domain, for the domain. However, it's not very realistic. So we're going to delete this and make it more realistic. So we type in fluid material is bpy.data.materials.new name is fluid material. You may have noticed, oh wait, you noticed that before it's domain material. You can use that, but I just changed it to fluid material for no reason. We obviously have to set use nodes to true to use the BSDF. So we can set the surface, what the surface looks like. Principled BSDF. Input the base color is, we want it to have a slight blue tint, but it's also pretty transparent, but not too transparent. That's why it's 0.8. So it's only kind of transparent. So slight blue tint with transparency. Load BSDF dot inputs roughness default value is 0.1. That's not very rough. Fluid BSDF dot inputs IOR dot default value is equal to 1.33. So what is IOR? Well, it's also on the page over here. IOR is the index of refraction. So it's we set it to 1.33, so it's more like vacuum and air. Looks more in, yeah, it's also pretty close to glass to get the look we're wanting. So it's kind of glass, but it's a little smaller and close to how air looks, like in between air and glass. Look. Domain, data, materials, append, fluid material. Then we scroll down. Okay, now let's give the air and water valve some realistic looks too. Okay, here's the air barrier and air valve. Provide some looks. Air barrier materials is before.data.materials.new. Name is barrier material. Air barrier material. Use nodes, we're gonna put that as true. Like always. Air barrier BSDF. Let's copy that. Actually, let's first try air barrier material dot node tree dot nodes dot get principled BSDF. Then we copy this because we want to have the input in that. It's not input, it's input, sorry. Okay, we're gonna have base color and it's gonna be 1.0, 0.01, which is red. Why is it red? No reason. It's just, I guess, so it's easier to see. And it's 0.5 metallic, so kind of metallic. Roughness. Actually, let's give it 3.5. Default value is 0.5 for roughness. And then air barrier dot data dot materials dot, we're gonna use this new material to give it the realistic look. Now let's do the same thing with the water. We just copy this. And we just do the same thing. Water barrier material. We call it material blue. Dot new name because barrier material to match with this name because we don't want these two names to be the same. Water barrier material blue dot use nodes. Then let's change this to water barrier BSDF blue. Then here water barrier material blue dot node tree node get, and then water barrier BSDF blue. The base color, let's make that blue instead of red. So you can turn into 0, and then we're gonna make this number 1. Then here's water barrier BSDF blue text default value, and water barrier BSDF blue. The reference is the same as the top. And then here just water barrier dot data dot up, and we use the water barrier material blue. Let's just check to see there's nothing there. Okay, so the last thing we're going to turn realistic is the floor. So let's go over here and write floor material is bpy.data.materials.new, the name floor material. We are going to use nodes to true. And then floor BSDF is floor material dot node tree nodes get principal BSDF. Now let's set the base color. Let's set the base color to gray. So 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 1. that should give us a gray color. BSDF inputs. Now for the roughness, we're going to give it a roughness value of 0.8. And for data materials, append floor material. So I thought that's it. Now let's just get yelled at for our typos. Fair barrier. Oh, imperial materials. Let's change that. And base cook. 2 C's. Is it fluid material, not materials? Okay. Now let's just wait 10 years for this to be done with its first run. Okay, it's done, but you can see nothing happened. Where's the realistic part? For that you need to go to another tab. It's the shading tab, and it's now very laggy. So I'll see you when it loads. Hello, I'm back, and look at this. It looks realistic now. It's metal, and everything here is super duper realistic. Okay. Now for the second part, which is uploading this into a GIF file. So we wanna press view, and it says viewport under animation. So you have to if you use this, you need to delete these 2 balls down here, because it's viewport render, it's just going to render based on the view. So you don't want these balls, and there's a way you can bypass it using cameras, but it's too complicated. You have to set the cameras and then put on the lights, and you don't want to do that. So to remove these balls, just press this button with the 2 overlapping balls. That's it. Now let's go to viewport render animation, and basically it's going to turn every single frame into a single full photo. And to find the folder where it happened, go back to scripting, and you can see the little printer looking thing on the right. You can see that if you press output, it says TMP, so it's going to go into a TMP folder. All of these images over here. Right now my 25th image. I'll get back to you when everything's done. Okay, now all the images are in my file. As you can see, my TMP file, I have all these images. So now you have done that, you need to compile all of them into one GIF or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. So you have to download Image Magic. You have to download Image Magic. I'm using a Windows, so you download the latest version. But depending on what device you use, you can use the others links on the screen. Okay, so if you've once you've downloaded Image Magic, you want to open the command prompt over here. And first thing you want to type is cd tmp, and we'll just turn this into this so you can do commands inside the folder. Okay, next you want to type dir, which will give you all the files you need. Over here, and also the date and time. So next thing you want to type is magic for Image Magic, but you add a K at the end because it's spelled with a K. Then asterisk because it stands for all of the files in here. .png, output .gif or GIF. You do that, and if you check here, output, there's a file named output in your TMP. It is a GIF. It's lagging, so don't worry. I'll just come back once it's done. Okay, it's done, and as you can see, it's a GIF with the water and tank implosion. So we are done with this lesson, and I'm done with the tank for now. But if you have any other suggestions with the tank, you can leave it in the comments and I'll try to do it. But if not, I'll work on another model. Bye.